A moment of kindness. How Michael Jordan changed a struggling mother's life. In a busy Chicago supermarket, four destinies were about to collide in a moment that would change lives forever. Jasmine Williams, a 20-year-old single mother, held her 1-year-old son Elijah tightly in her arms as she carefully calculated every penny in her worn cloth purse. With just $27.45 to her name until her next paycheck as a house cleaner, she moved through the aisle selecting only the most essential items: rice, beans, eggs, and instant noodles. What Jasmine didn't know was that this ordinary shopping trip would turn into both her darkest moment and the beginning of an extraordinary change in her life. As Elijah grew fussy, his cries echoing through the store, the supermarket manager, Richard Collins, approached with disdain evident in his eyes. "If that child doesn't stop crying, I'll have to ask you to leave," he said coldly, looking Jasmine up and down, taking in her simple clothes and patched-up bag. "Sorry, he's just hungry." "I'm finishing up quickly," Jasmine replied, feeling her face burn with shame as she recognized the judgment in his gaze. "I'm watching you," the manager warned in a threatening tone. Unbeknownst to them both, someone else was watching this interaction from another aisle. Michael Jordan, the legendary basketball player, was in Chicago for charity events. Dressed simply in a white t-shirt and jeans, he had managed to keep a low profile despite his impressive height. As Jasmine continued through the store with Elijah now awake and fussy, her dizziness grew worse. She hadn't eaten anything substantial in 2 days, surviving on stale bread and black coffee while still breastfeeding her son. She leaned against a shelf to avoid collapsing just as the manager reappeared, now with a security guard. "Are you all right?" The question sounded insincere, laced with suspicion. "Yes, just a little tired," Jasmine replied, straightening up. The manager muttered, scanning her small shopping basket. "And doesn't look like you're buying much. Are you sure you can pay for this?" The question hit Jasmine like a slap. "Yes, sir, I have enough," she answered softly. The manager smirked coldly. "Well, I hope so. We've had problems with people like you before." The words "people like you" hung in the air, their meaning crystal clear, because she was young, because she was black, because she was poor. Elijah, sensing his mother's distress, began crying louder. "Could you please control your child?" The manager snapped loud enough for nearby customers to hear. "This is a respectable establishment." "I'm trying, sir. He's just hungry," Jasmine explained. "Then maybe you should feed him before coming in here and disturbing our customers," the manager interrupted. "Or better yet, maybe you should shop somewhere more appropriate for your situation." As Elijah's cries grew louder, Jasmine tried desperately to soothe him while fighting back her own tears. The manager crossed his arms with a smug smile. "Look, I don't want any trouble here. Why don't you just put those items back, and we'll forget this ever happened?" "But I need this food," Jasmine said, her voice barely more than a whisper. "I have the money, please." When the manager demanded to see her money, Jasmine showed him the $27.45, her entire fortune. The manager sneered and suggested she might have obtained it through questionable means. The accusation left Jasmine feeling punched in the stomach. "What? No, I earned this cleaning houses. I work hard for every dollar." "Oh, I'm sure you do," the manager replied sarcastically. "Look, I'm going to have to ask you to leave now. We can't have people like you disturbing our real customers." "Can I at least buy a loaf of bread?" she asked, her voice cracking. "Just a loaf of bread for my baby." "You're holding up the line. Leave now, or we'll have to call the police." The mere mention of police sent a chill of fear down Jasmine's spine. With a defeated nod, she turned to leave, holding Elijah closer to her chest as she walked toward the exit. But as she reached the automatic doors, a deep, powerful voice cut through the silence. "Excuse me. Hold on a moment, please." The security guard stopped automatically, and Jasmine turned slowly with a crying baby in her arms. Her eyes widened at the sight of the tall man approaching with determined steps. Michael Jordan walked straight up to Jasmine, completely ignoring the security guard. When he spoke, his voice was gentle. "Are you and your baby okay?" Before Jasmine could answer, the manager appeared, his face transforming into fake cordiality upon recognizing the famous basketball player. "Mr. Jordan, what an honor to have you in our store. I hope you're finding everything you need. If there's anything I can do... Actually, there is... Michael interrupted politely but firmly. I'd like to understand why this young mother is being escorted out of your establishment. As the manager fumbled through excuses about security concerns and procedures, Michael's eyes never left his face. I'm curious, Mr. Collins, Michael said calmly, reading the manager's name tag. How exactly do you determine which customers can pay and which can't? Is it the clothes they wear, the color of their skin, or maybe the fact that they are single mothers with babies in their arms? The manager turned pale. Mr. Jordan, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I saw everything, Michael interrupted, his voice now louder. I saw how you treated her. I saw how you publicly humiliated her. I saw how you made her feel less than human. A heavy silence fell over the store as all eyes turned to watch the legendary Michael Jordan confronting the manager in defense of a young mother. Discrimination is not a procedure, Mr. Collins, Michael stated firmly. It's a crime. Turning to Jasmine, he asked for her name and introduced himself to both her and little Elijah. Then he made an offer that would change everything. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to take you back through the aisle so you can choose everything you need, not just what fits in your $27.45, but everything you and Elijah truly need. And it'll be on me. When Jasmine tried to refuse, Michael gently explained, It would be an honor for me. Consider it a thank you. A thank you. Jasmine asked, confused. For what? Michael's smile widened. For reminding me of something my mother always taught me, that when we make it to the top, we must never forget where we came from and help those in need. Under Michael's guidance, Jasmine selected not just basics, but everything she and Elijah needed. Quality rice, fresh fruits and vegetables, meat, milk, cereals, hygiene products, and a large pack of diapers. Michael even held Elijah, who delighted in his new friend, while Jasmine shopped. At the checkout, the total came to $887.65, an amount that seemed like an impossible fortune to Jasmine. Michael paid without hesitation, then arranged for his driver to take Jasmine and Elijah home with all their groceries. What Michael discovered when they arrived at Jasmine's apartment shocked him deeply. The tiny single room had a thin mattress on the floor, an overturned cardboard box as Elijah's crib, a toilet and sink partially hidden by a torn plastic curtain, and a kitchen consisting of just a hot plate atop a wobbly folding table. Despite the poverty, everything was impeccably clean. As they talked, Michael learned about Jasmine's dream of becoming a nurse, a dream she had abandoned after becoming pregnant and being abandoned by Elijah's father. Something about her dignity and strength reminded him powerfully of his own mother, who had worked as a housekeeper to support her children. That night, Michael made a decision that would transform Jasmine's life forever. The next day, he arranged for her to attend Wilson School of Nursing with fully covered tuition, secured a flexible job for her at the university hospital, and arranged quality daycare for Elijah. Why are you doing this to me? Jasmine asked through tears. You don't even know me. Michael knelt before her, holding her hands. When I was young, many people doubted I could get where I am today. But there were also people who believed in me when I needed it most. Today, I'm just passing that blessing forward. You're strong, Jasmine. I can see it in your eyes. I see the same determined look my mother had. All you need is a fair chance. 6 months later, at an end-of-semester gathering at the nursing school, Jasmine stood on stage and shared her story. To her shock, she discovered that her friend Sarah's father was none other than Richard Collins, the manager who had humiliated her that day. Rather than expose him, Jasmine chose forgiveness, saying, Today I want to thank not only Michael Jordan for his generosity, but also everyone who was part of this journey, the teachers who encouraged me, the classmates who supported me, and even those who doubted me, because it gave me even more determination to prove my worth. Later, when Collins approached to apologize, Jasmine responded with grace rather than resentment. Even little Elijah reached out his tiny hand toward the man, as if offering a second chance. As Michael observed this moment, he told Collins, None of us truly deserve the blessings we receive. That's why they're called blessings, not payments. What matters is what we do with them. At the end of the night, Michael told Jasmine how proud he was of her transformation. She replied that it was all thanks to him, but he disagreed. You've always had that strength within you. I just helped remove a few obstacles from your path. The rest was all your doing." In that moment, as they embraced with Elijah nestled between them, they were no longer a basketball star and a former cleaner. They were simply two human beings connected by the noblest aspect of the human spirit, the ability to see beyond appearances, to believe in someone's potential, and to change lives through compassion. This incredible story reminds us that sometimes all it takes is one person believing in us to change our entire trajectory. Here at Fame Finder, we bring you these powerful, real life stories that touch hearts and inspire change. If this story moved you, please hit the like button, subscribe to the Fame Finder channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss more inspiring content like this. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How has someone's kindness changed your life? Your support makes all the difference, and together we can spread more stories that remind us of the good in humanity.